Well, my friends, what's in store for this week? A shave with my very first DE razor and a complete 180 from last week's shaves with the Camisari. Hello again, Michael Friedrich here from beautiful North Carolina with another wet shaving product review. Today it's going to be two products from Oleo Soapworks. I've used their soaps before. This is the Shiloh. This is the duck fat version of the soap. I've used a previous tallow version as well as a vegan version. I've enjoyed both of those soaps. Today's is going to be the Shiloh in the duck fat. So let me show you what that looks like. First of all, a very nice light color. It's on the hard side for a soft soap, but definitely not a hard soap. The scent, well, it's meant to be a dupe or a clone or an homage or a faithful reproduction of Acqua di Parma Colonia, but let's pretend you've never smelled that. I never have. I don't know how close this is to being that scent or not. I'm not really sure that it matters in that case because this smells in and of itself smells fantastic. It has a beautiful cologne style scent. It smells strongly of a kind of a sweet, bright citrus. I get mostly citrus and rose and lavender, and I get an undercurrent of kind of a, in the background, a bit of kind of sweet wood a little bit. But the primary scents for me are the lemon, the rose, and the lavender, and the beautiful, beautiful cologne style scent. I have some of that in the loading bowl, which I have just a tiny bit left from what I scooped out for the beginning of the week. That should be enough, I hope, for the shave. If not, it'll be plenty. Today's brush is going to be the return of the Neep custom olive wood handle in this kind of cool hourglass shape. Yes, this knot continues to lose a variety of fine hairs. I have a long-term plan for this if this knot really goes south, but it is nowhere close to there yet. The razor for today is going to be the original DE razor that I purchased when I first started wet shaving. It's going to be the Merkur 23C, also sold as the long handle 180. Top cap. The blade for today is going to be the Treet Platinum. This will be shave number 6. This is the blade that comes in this white and orange and white wrapper. So let me go ahead and get that assembled. Base plate, very traditional style base plate, very similar to the D89, but this is not the same head, obviously. I'm going to install the washer on there and then the hollow handle. And that's one thing just to bear in mind. This is a long handle, so for those of you with larger hands, that they may be of some benefit. I will say though, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, I find this handle to be the balance is okay, but the knurling to me just feels so light. It's almost kind of painted on and a little bit fake or faux. There is texture there, don't get me wrong, but not really texture, if you know what I mean. All right, let's go ahead and get lathered up. That'll be the razor for today. I get my face wet again and we'll start lathering. Now, I've used the duck fat recipe before. In fact, it was the Maggard meetup sample that Oleo Soapworks gave away, which was called Excursion. And I took that sample with me for my trip to Europe this summer. I used that the entire time. Fantastic lathers, great shaves, very easy to use, beautiful scent as well. And in part, the name just happened to fit because we were, of course, on a lengthy excursion. All right, let's go ahead and get that lathered up. I would strongly recommend starting off with a relatively dry brush for the soap. If you start off with too wet a brush, you're going to find yourself sort of facing a very bubbly, kind of frothy lather. This soap, I think you can overhydrate this soap. Not easily, but pretty quickly if you don't watch what you're doing. So you can hear that's a little bit, that's definitely sounds dry. I'm just going to try to work that in. I have just a little bit left right in the center there. So we'll see how well that goes. If I have to, I'll pull it out. Let's load just a touch of water in there now to sort of help that. And we'll see what we get. Yeah, adding water bit by bit for the soap, definitely a much better option than starting off with a wet brush, at least for me. All right, I'm going to just take that piece that's stuck there in the middle. I'm going to put that on the side. I hope this is going to work. And we'll see. That may end up on my face, and if so, then we'll just pull it off. There we go. That looks pretty good. All right, let's get my face wet, and we'll start lathering. Yeah, definitely still dry, so I'm going to add some water now. I mean, I hope there's enough soap in there, because if not, I'm going to have to scoop some. I don't know. I'm going to say just not enough left. So let me just scoop some out on the fly from the container. I'm just using the back of my nail, my thumbnail. I'm going to scoop a little bit. Let's press that into the bowl. There we go. That should be plenty. And let's load that up a little bit. Just dipping the tips in the water just a touch to sort of help seat that piece of soap into the bottom of the lathering bowl. Yeah, there we go. There, we're much better. As you can see, that's starting to load a little bit more. Just a touch of water again. Yeah, all right. Let's continue, shall we? Yeah, the brush is still doing okay, but yes, every shave I'm losing a couple hairs. Thin hairs from the center of the knot, but the knot itself is still in there really solid. There we go. I've also found that for this soap, I'm not building a big voluminous lather. I'm building a nice sort of thin, slick layer. Just a touch more water and to pull some of the soap off the bottom of the brush. And you can see that that's forming a nice kind of shiny lather. All right, there we go. Yeah, the lather has been, oh, let me put the cap back over there. Running out of space on the sink. Yeah, lather is very nice and slick. All right, here we go. Now, day 6 on this blade, by the way. Definitely some deterioration. I'm not sure this thing is going to last another week, but we'll see. I shaved Monday. It was so easy and just felt so kind of absurdly safe and kind of completely muscle memory, just, yeah, kind of laugh out loud. Especially thinking back to those first couple shaves when I first started wet shaving. The minor trepidation about this very dangerous thing I was holding, which in retrospect just seems so safe in use right now. Yeah, lovely slickness on that soap. I don't think this soap is going to somehow knock the top tier soaps off their shelves, but at some point the distinctions become pretty minimal. All right. Easy first pass. I will say, as much as that head resembles the D89 head, it just isn't as good. There's something slightly off about the geometry. I don't know what it is. It's clearly not exactly the same. I don't think it's meant to be exactly the same. But it just doesn't have the same sort of buttery mix of comfort and efficiency. Not as comfortable as the D89. I think a lot of beginners buy this razor because it shows up a great deal on Amazon searches, but I would definitely say that there are, at least today, a number of much better options and at better prices. There we go. That beautiful, soft, slick feel to the brush on the face too. There we go. Rinse my hands because they're very slippery from the soap. Scent strength, I would say, is kind of mid to strong. It's definitely very distinct out of the container. It's not quite so distinct when lathering, but you definitely get a nice kind of sense of the aroma. All right, this is the across the grain. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with this razor. There's just also nothing terribly right with this razor. You know, it absolutely gets the job done. You know, if this is a razor that you purchased and you're using it with good results and you're satisfied, please don't feel disappointed with it. It's getting the job done, and that's what you're looking for. Something about the corners always seem to get me. Excuse me. Yeah, it's kind of comical how easy I find this to do compared to the Camisori shaves. It's just completely night and day. Now, I received some great advice, by the way, from people about what to do to improve those shaves. I think it came down to two or maybe three things. One, get better blades, and there are two different styles of blades I'm going to get. They're both feathers. When I get those in, I'm going to switch back to the Camisori. The other was to make sure I kept a very shallow angle. I was turning it out too far for certain parts, and really maintain that angle throughout the shave. The other piece of advice was to take it slow and sort of learn in stages, which is actually pretty good advice. I thought I was doing okay with those two passes, and honestly, I think I would continue to do those. The against the grain pass, just having a hard time wrapping my head around exactly how to hold the blade and maintain the angle. So one of the pieces of advice was to do the first two passes with the Camisori and then finish off your shave with a DE, which is not a bad way to go. Certainly reduces the performance pressure about somehow doing it all in one fell swoop. Yeah, beautiful citrus scent. Just a nice, bright, kind of open citrus. I like the rose in there as well. I do have coming up in the queue, I just don't know when, the Rose Auto from Queen Charlotte, which I was able to get. I got two soaps when they were closing out, which is very sad to see them go, but the Rose Auto is a beautiful scent. There we go. That is going to be plenty for pass number 3. Yeah, duck fat soap is really working great. The excursion stuff worked great overseas. In some places we had beautiful soft water, so the lather was a bit more luxurious, but even with my hard water, really not a problem. All right, the against the grain pass. Keeping my finger out for a delicate touch. All right, change the angle a little bit. There we go. Yeah, this is another good example, by the way, of not worrying too much about the kind of the strict rules about the patterns of shaving. Like in this case, I'm sort of letting the comfort of the razor and the way that it feels dictate how far I'll push it in a particular direction or not. There we go. Mustache and we're done. Very, very nice residual slickness on this soap too. When you get it wet, you can just feel there's like a a layer still underneath there. Wow, easy peasy. Great combo. That blade definitely getting a little rough. I may try to get it on Monday and just see if it evens out, but I have a number of other blades to go through. So I did, by the way, receive my 200 Bismuth pulse silver blade. So I'll go back and update that video in the comments where I purchased them. I've also forewarned them to be ready for maybe a brief bump in sales temporarily. So we'll see. Okay, we towel off here. Post shave on the soap, by the way, is one of the real highlights, at least for me. Yeah, feels kind of soft and supple. It feels with your finger like there's a little bit of dryness, but in fact, skin feels really pretty good. However, does it feel perfect? No. Moisturized? Yes. But we're going to add on to that the Shiloh aftershave balm. Now, I don't see these listed on the Oleo Soapworks website any longer, but I do see them listed at the Merkur website. So I don't know if these are somehow being discontinued or only available through some of the resellers. But I will say the balm is kind of exactly what I'm looking for in terms of the texture. The dispensing is easy. The pump is very clean. It's one pump, which is plenty. It's a very nice creamy texture. It's not runny or drippy at all. It has a slightly sort of aerated feel to it. A little bit like it's been foamed a little bit coming out. Very easy to apply, goes in quickly, doesn't have an overly waxy or pasty or kind of sticky. Just a nice sort of hydrating, slick feel to it. As you can see, that soaks in very quickly. It is very, very dry in the house too, because just with the temperature changes in the winter, and so I've been moisturizing twice a day. That stuff has really worked very well for me. Scent-wise, not as strongly scented as the soap, and you sort of have a mixture of the cologne scent as well as just the kind of the underlying scent of the skin cream. And the scent is I wouldn't say long lived, but you can certainly catch whiffs of it, faint whiffs of it throughout the course of the day. It's not in any way going to replace a real aftershave scent or an eau de cologne or something like that. But what it does do is really moisturize your face. All right, I'm going to rinse my hands. You have a combination of the duck fat and the post-shave feel for that soap, and then the addition of the balm. Very, very nice feel to my skin when I'm done. All right, let's towel off here a little bit, and I think we're going to call it right there because there's really nothing more to do. Honestly, I mean, I'm done. How easy and quick was that? Beautiful stuff. All right, let's just go through what we used today. Lightning round. Duck fat, Shiloh, Oleo Soapworks. Wonderful, easy to lather soap. Nice slick lather. You're not going to build a big volume. You're going to have a nice slick shiny layer of lather. Very easy to use. Post shave is very good. This scent is a nice bright mix for me of citrus, the lavender and the rose. Very, very nice. If Acqua di Parma Colonia smells this good, well, then good for them. That's the shaving soap. The pump dispenser for the aftershave balms. I like that dispenser quite a bit. The aftershave balm works very well for me. It's exactly the right consistency. It's got a nice creamy denseness to it. I don't like this kind of milky running ones. That's kind of not what I'm looking for. It always feels a little messy and drippy. That is fantastic. And beautiful smooth shave. Surprisingly, given the fact that that blade I think is becoming a little bit rough to use, but this is what I would describe as a low-end or sort of beginner's razor. The Merkur 23C still delivered a very good, easy, close, comfortable shave. Yes, you have to watch out for these corners for some reason. They tend to dig in. And no, I'm not a fan of this handle really. But if you bought this and you're getting great shaves off it, please don't feel like you somehow screwed up or made a mistake. You got a great razor that gives you good shaves and you're in good shape. Stick with that. Or buy another one, whatever. The brush for today, the Rod Neep olive wood. This is the hourglass handle. Beautiful small badger knot. Still one of my favorite brushes, and just the handle shape is incredibly comfortable. And I'm beginning to think that maybe if I'm going to go for a custom handle shape, I'm going to do something that's a bit more barrel shaped or something that's kind of a very gentle curve without that line or bead in it, because I'm finding actually that fingers tend to press into that and not as comfortable as that handle for me. All right, I think that's it. I think we're done. We're gonna just quit right there. Let me just say once again, thank you so much for watching these videos. I really appreciate the time you're taking to watch them. As always, please feel free to leave a comment or question. I apologize I wasn't able to get back to them this week. Had an incredibly busy week at work because it's the last week before kind of an extended Christmas or end of year break. So I will get back to those, not to worry. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And until next time, goodbye.